going to be at the top of page Kuf Peches. And we're going to get into this next Indian, which I think I'd like to learn through because I think I got the right page. Yeah. It says, Amdam Yesh Chilik is the very top of the page, just reading the Rav. There's a difference between a Mochin, the Abba, the Mochin, the Ima. Now he said he made some statements about it. He said, Ki HaMochin, the Abba, Heim Kulu Bebechin Shemo Shel Havayos B'Miluyim. So the Abba, this is his statement, that the Abba is all names of Havayos in the Milui form, but the Ima Heim Shemos the Akia B'Miluyim. Let's look over here. That was number Kof Gimel. Get a running start here. Aki Eish Chiluk Bein Shemus HaMochin Shel Abba the Bein Shemus HaMochin Shel Ima. Ki Kol Arbech of Shemus HaMochin, because all of the four names of the Mochin, Shemitzad Abba, Heim Shemus Shel Havaya. V'lokol Muach Muach Shel Abba Ma'arbech HaMochin Yesh Lo Shem Havaya Cheres. So we have an asmap there. B'shinui Miluehem. He says, those shall call Arbacha Peshemus Amokshir B'tzad Ima, Him Shemus Akia, the call Echod Me Arbacha B'mokshir B'tzad Ima, Yesh Lo Shem Akia Acher B'shinu Miluehem. So here we have Kasa Kamakana, something like that, possibly. Let's look at number Kaf Zion, or go up to the top here. Read across the top. It says, Ata Askino Ki Askino, who bebir Prati Hamochin the Chachma Bebina the Abba Ve'Iba. Now we want to look at what's inside of Abba Ve'Iba themselves, Begam Rak B'Mochin the Katas, and then also only the Mochin the Katas. So I'm not sure what he said there, but let's look at the tip. We're at the top then on the second column. Now this sounds simple enough. Now, he just said that, but he says that's not what I mean exactly. But his kavanah is to say this. He says, Shamuach HaChachma Atzma, that the Moach HaChachma itself, Mishtana Lefi Ezech parts of who it really depends on which parts of you're talking about. Imhu Muach HaChachma the Abba or Muach HaChachma the Ima. There's a difference if you look in Abba and you see it's Chachma, because Abba, so mashma that Abba has 10 spheros, and then this is the Chachma of those spheros, or something like that. So to figure out how he said this. He says Muach HaChachma the Abba or Muach HaChachma the Ima. Begam beprati Hamochin Shel Osa Muach Mishtana Miluehem. So then also those details that we're talking about, you have a change in the Milui. V'chein hu b'muach bina. Now that's in part of Abba. So Abba has within him a that is the Muach called Abba. He has an Abba Muach and he has a bina. He has a Chachma Muach and a bina Muach. But the Vizachatim says, so according to that, and the same thing goes with Ima. She has an Abba Moach and she has an Ima Moach. So the four Mochim, Chainu, Chachma, Bina, Chasad, Das, and Gvor, Das. Shall Chachma B'tzad Abba. So look at Abba. Abba has a Chachma. V'chein ba'arbach b'mochin Chainu, b'chachma, b'bina, b'chasad, Das, and Gvor, Das, shall Bina, B'tzad Abba. So now we're just talking about the Abba Dekasai. So the Abadika side has mochin on the Abadika side, so that means it's broken down. It's not just a moch of Abba, but it's a moch of Abba, which has an asmab within it. Or was that the right word? No, it has. Let me get my words again. I'm trying to go too fast. It has chachma bebina v'chasada the das and gevuras the das. So they have all of the mochin. The Abba side has all of the mochin. Hey, Mochim shall Chabayas Bishinim Miluehem. So if you look at the Abba side, that you're going to see that they're going to be Chabayas with a change in the Milui. So then also you have the same thing in the side of Ima, she has four Mochim. So there you're going to see that the names over there that go with bina are going to look like an Akia in different Miluyim. Going to the next page and Kof Pei Tes. Kof Pei Tes. Here we go. So the Kof Pei Tes says, V'achashi is Bayer Inyan the Mocha the Chachma B'bina Shal Zasa. After explaining this now, Yisboyer inyan shemus amochen shal chasanta de das v'chav shemus amochen shal gevur de das the abba or the ima. So we're going to get into the chasanta de das. That's a separate little piece here. So let's look at this piece. So on number Kaf test, he says Shemus Amochen Shecharav Bevoyer Chochel. So what he's explaining right now, you want to know what the names of these mochen are. Haim Rak Shemus Amochen Shal Shisha Kitzvos deny the godless. So, but this is a little complicated. So they will understand that when you're in the Kriya Shema, particularly when you're bringing in the Gzat, or he says the Vok of godless. He said, "Hey, Rak Shemus Amochim shall Shisha Kitzvos deny the godless. The Hainu Shemus Amochim shall Hanai deny." Listen to this. He says the Nai that comes into Zer Anpin can be divided into a Nai deny, the Chagat deny Levad. So in other words, just dealing with the part that goes into Zer Anpin, it has a Chagat part, it has a Nai part, the Einam Bevorakan, and here he's not going to say the top part as Shemus Amochim shall Chagat deny. So here we're looking at the Nai coming into Zer Anpin, and we want to look at its different parts, and we're only dealing with the Nai deny and the Chabad and the Chagat deny. So each one of them, according to Drushot, and he's getting it out of here, is that each one of them is like a partzif by itself. There's a Chabad Chagat Nai in the Abba side, and the Chabad Chagat Nai that's in the Ima side, but we're only dealing with the Kriya Shema part. And that's the part that brings in the Vok, which we're only dealing with the Nai deny and the Chagat deny. That's that part. This is just like a more of a specific look at that Nai that's coming in. Then he says, "Az hamochem halalu shehem hamochem the Vok." So it's really the mochem that come from the Vok of Ima. Niknasa bezecha bechaba the bechagat shalo. They go into the top part. There's 6 mochem there. There's the Chagat deny and the Nai deny. He said they're going into Zer Anpin. That's his godless. And the reason why you only get the Vok, was kan zemana godless, because that's when the whole thing comes in. Because the mochen of Ima are the ones that go into Zer Anpin, into his Chabad and his Chagat. So it's in the upper 2/3 of Zer Anpin. But the rest of the mochin of the Nai Dezah, so when the godless, the real godless comes in at the time of the of Shmona Esrei, it pushes the Nai deny and the Chagat deny into the Nai of and the Chagat and the Nai of Zer Anpin. Now, let me see. I'm still going here on the same original idea, I believe. I don't know if I read it up above or I don't know what I'm doing. And then come into their proper place, because everything gets pushed down during the Shemona Esrei and everything is where it belongs. Number Lamed Daled. It says, so there's, I'm learning Tzitzit, or we're learning Tzitzis, and I'm learning Kriya Shema in another place. So he said this goes very nicely together with that. So he said, let me read the last part. They all go together. Now, let's look at the next piece, number Kuf Pei Tes. So he says, and we're now on page Kuf Pei Tes. Yeah, Kuf Pei Tes. And V'achiluk shemochin da abahu daled osius. This is something that we need to know. We need to know the last part too. So what did he say in the last part? The last part he said that what comes into Zer Anpin is the Chagat and the Nai of Nai, or Nai Chagat, or however you want to say it. Nai comes into Zer Anpin, and that's the godless that comes into Zer Anpin. Now let's look. Achilu shemochin the abahu daled osius. Now this is an interesting part. He said when you look at the Abba side, it's going to be 4 letters. But by her, there's only 3. Now, I'm picking up the idea, and I just want you probably realize this, that if you wanted to know what actually Abba Vitzilus looks like, or not Abba Vitzilus, but Zer Anpin of Vitzilus looks like, it would be a Ma. It would be a Milui, it would be a Havaya. Okay, so what I was saying is that what actually, if we were able to look at these, we would see that Zeranpin is in Atzilus is actually 10 letters of the Milui of Ma. And the Nukva would, if you want to know what she actually is, her essence is going to be the Acharayim of all of that. We saw that over in the Sefer Tzniuta. Now you're seeing something similar to this again. You want to know about these mochin. What do they look like? So he says, again, he says the mochin of Abba are always 4 letters, and the mochin of Ima are always 3 letters. So there's a difference between the Chachma and the bina the Abba. Let's just look at Abba himself. Now, once again, he's considering the moach of Abba like a partzuf. That's where I see it. I don't know, maybe it's something else, like it's the partzuf itself, and it's a Abba Chaganai. But he says, so let's look at what the bina of Abba and the Chachma of Abba look like. Fuhuki emetsu, the truth is, so both of them are chabayas. You're dealing with the Abba side. The Olam, because says because the thing is like this, but Abba hakol huba b'chinas havayas, because this is the rule that in Abba everything is an aspect of a chavaya. Aval hefer shku, but the difference is this: ki chachma the Abba he havaya ba'arba osius is an havaya of 4 letters. Avacha b'bina the Abba he havaya b'shlosh osius levada, it only has 3 letters. Vahem Yaakov. So the first 3 letters of the Yud K Vav K on the bina side of Abba, that's always all you're going to get. The Sha'af al Pishu hu b'bechinas Abba, that even though we said it's Abba, we had this phrase, and the phrase is that Abba is always these miluyim. Im kol zecha b'hi bina shabo, but in so this is the bina of Abba. As a habulachain ein ba rak shlosh osios Yaakov. So therefore it only has 3 letters, and those letters don't have the final hay in it. The Horoski he begematria akia. But what happens is, as a result of that, is that it comes in the same gematria. Yaakov's the same gematria as akia. So therefore, it's an automatic signal that this is it related to akia. But instead of being an akia itself, which is what it sounded like when the Rab originally began speaking, it's Rakan Havaya Ha'ola B'Gematria Akia. So it's another 21, but in the Havaya form. Nimsa Ki Lihiyosa B'Tzad Abba Hi Havaya. So this is the rule. He says that since it's on the side of Abba, that is the Abba of Abba, or the Abba of Ima, or we'll get to that. It's a different one. Lihiyosa B'Tzad Bina Hu Yaakov. So therefore, since it's the bina of Abba, so therefore it's the letters Yaakov. Ha'ola B'Gematria Akia Kinizkar, which comes out to be Akia, like we said. So the Chachma and bina of Ima, it's going to go like the same kind of way. Because over there you're going to have both of them are going to be aspects of Akia. Hello, what about the Chachma of Ima? He Akia, bina the Ima he Aki. So that's what we have here. And I was just trying to get to something that was bothering me, an explanation. I lost it because I'm somewhere else. So let's look at number Lamed Hey. And we'll say this over again, and maybe my question will come back, or my answer will come back again. The El Kosev of Rav Shahamok and the Chachma Bebina the Abba Haim Kavayas. Over there he said that they're Havayas, right? Masha Ein came b'chug, which the das shehem einim shemus avayas. Now we're not talking about the chug the das here. Elachem shemus acherim the gami, the completely and totally different names. V'ata bevar harab sheyesh kili b'mochen de b'tzad abba b'gufe. Okay, so I remember what it was that was bothering me. I think what he's saying is that each one of the 4 mochin, but we're just talking about abba v'ima here, has a I'm not saying this right, has 4 mochin in it. So each one of them has 4 mochin. So if you're looking at the mochin inside of Abba, then you're going to see that Abba has 4 mochin in there. But the fact is that that's what we're talking about, the 4 mochin inside of Abba and the 4 mochin that are inside of Ima. So let's go on and let's see it again. So if you look at Abba himself, all by himself, just looking at Abba, the bina. So now that's where he's telling us. He's telling us there's a Chachma bina, a chesed, a gevura of das in Abba by himself. So what we're talking about is the differences between the Abba of Abba and the Ima of Abba. So we know that the both of them are Havayas. So we're going to say it again. The tip is going to bring it to us again up at the top of the column. Oh, Mekaven Sha'aba Ba'aba. Kol habechinos heim havayos. So whatever aspects of you would say of Abba, now he's saying that there's a. I'm trying to think of what is the acrostic for these. So it would be the Chabad. That's I guess what we should say. He says that the Chabad of Abba is going to be made out of havayos. The Fichoch are actually he says the Chub, but he doesn't say the Chabad. He doesn't say the Das. He says the Chub. So since we see here that all of the mochin are vials, so therefore we're talking about a chachma and a bina on the Abba side, they're going to be havayos. But now that we know that, who is like this, that Shemuach Achokman to Mitzad Abba Heim Shema Shel Chavaya Shlema B'Kol Arba Osios Osia. So this would be the Abba of Abba or the Chachma of Abba. Let's say the Eilach of the Bina the Mitzad Abba. But now we're talking about the bina of Abba. Hagam Shehem Shema Shel Chavayos, even though that they are Chavayos. Afal Pikein Heim Shema Shel Chavaya Rak B'Shlosh Osios V'Lo B'Arba Osios. It only has 3 letters, not 4. The Abba, what do they look like? Heim Shlosh Osios Yaakov. So if you're able to look inside of the bina of Abba, then you would see that what it's composed of, and this is actually what it is. It's a Yaakov. And it's missing that. So what's the reason? Why would you do? Why would the creation be like this? So whereas we see that the muach of Abba, the bina is on the side of Abba, it needs to be a havaya, right? Mole im arba osiosa, that's the chachma of Abba. But if we're talking about the bina, I might have got that mixed up a little bit, but it means that we're talking now about the bina of Abba. He says number mem hey at the top of the left column. The fichoch ein b'muach habida b'tzad Abba el rak shemo shel shlosh osios Yaakov levad. So therefore, it only has the letters of Yaakov. That's all. The call zebal lahoros. All of this is coming to show us lahoros lama shamuach habida shebetzad Abba. That if we're talking about the bina from the Abba side. Gam hi nikra al shem hanok. So it has to have something that indicates that it's feminine. It just seems to me a little pelagic why they would take the hay off, but because the hay is the feminine part, but he's really going after the number. So gam hi nikra al shem hanok. It's called by the name of the nook. Yesh osios Yaakov. Hein begematria ekia. That's what it is. It comes to the same gematria. So understand that the number 21 always refers to the nook. The Abba. So she would be called. You want to try that phrase? It's the Ima da Abba. So the Ima da Abba has to be a 21. That's what he's saying. So therefore, it only has 3 letters. So he said, "Mekaven shalamuch the bina shebetzad Abba." So this is the ima of Abba. Heim shemus avaya the ficho yesh bel shlosh osios Yaakov rak shehem olim begematria ekia. So the main thing that you want to focus on is that it comes out to be an ima dika gematria. So he says, and that's actually the fact. If you were able to look at it, that's what it looks like. He says. Nimsa the Vizah Shemuach Bina the Abba the Yosef Bina Shal Abba, since it's the bina of Abba. The Fichol Yesh Baruch Shemos Shal Havaya. So therefore it's going to have names that's going to be associated with Havaya because it's part of Abba. But since it's the bina side of Abba, the Fichol Yesh Bo Shlosh Osios Yaakov, so therefore there are three letters Yaakov. So he says Sheshem Zecha B'Shal Yaakov comes to the gematria of Ekia. Now he's repeating it and coming back to it, because when you're talking to Ema, you're talking about Ekias, 21s. Now, okay, so here he's saying that the gematria rules out. Is the rule is that the gematria really tells you what you need to know hidden underneath it. So therefore, the Rakia has to be, so on the bina side of Abba, then you're going to have a Yaakov. Then he says, Amurcha Chachma Amurcha bina Shazam Mekabel Mitzad Ima. So now we're talking about, once again, he said that we're dealing with the Vak of Ima, that is the Nai, and the Chagat of the Nai coming into Zer Anpin, and that's these Mochin that have a Chachma and Bina associated with the Shem Mekabel Mitzad Ima. Here we also see that there's a difference in the names of the Mochim. So now we're talking about the Abba of Ima, or the bina Atzma the Mitzad Ima, or the Ima of Ima. Kamosha Shanino, Sheyesh Chiluk, Vishinui, Bein Chachma Shebetzad Abba, the bina the Mitzad Abba. So there's going to be a difference. Now, he hagam shehem hamochin the chachma. So he says, whereas we see here that we're dealing here with the mochin of chachma b'tzad ima, v'hin hamochin the bina b'tzad b'tzad ima. So once again, kulam hem shemos akia. They have to be akias. That's the rule the Rav said laid down. Akiyesh chiluk shechachma the b'tzad ima. Hem shemos akia malayim. So there we see the names of ima. The Akim Alayim Bekol Arbechol Siosech. So it's Kasa Chabad Kasa Kamag Kana. So there you're going to see that. So he says he says, let me read again. Akiyesh Chiluk Shechochna Betzad Ima Heim Shemos Akia, but they're going to be full names. The Abadika side has 4 letters all the time. Malayim Bekol Arba Osiosehem. But so I said I don't know why I got transferred over there into the Milui of the let's see. Okay, there are Malayim. Okay. Now looking at the bina of bina, or the ima of ima, Hagam Shehi Shemos Akia, so we understand it's just to be an Akia also. Haim Shemos Shal Shlosh Osios Aki. But that's all you get out of it is Aki Levad. It has to be only 3 letters. So this is the other rule. That's the rule that he said to begin with, is that all the Abba Dika sides have to be 4 letters. All the Ima Dika sides have to be 3 letters. So he said, Levad, Shuhu Shem Akia, Shechasib B'mena, the Hey again. The Hey Achrona Shal Shem Akia, which is a different gematria. This is a gematria 16. Nimsa Shechachna B'tzad Abba, so there comes out like this. The Chachma on the side of Abba Yeshbo Shema Shleimin Shal Havaya. So there you have complete names of Havaya. That's on the Abba Dika side. V'chein al Chachma the B'tzad Ima, and also look over the side of Ima. Yeshbo Shema Shleimin Shal Ekia. There's going to be a complete Ekias over there. Akba Bina B'tzad Abba, but now look at the Abba side and look at the Ima Dika part of the Abba. He says Akba Bina the B'tzad Abba Heim Shema Shal Yaakov. Their names of Yaakov, this on the Abadika side, V'chasib b'menda the Hey Achrona Shel Shem Avaya. V'chein the bina the B'tzad Ima, also the bina on the Ima side. Heim Shemo Shel Aki. V'chasib b'menda Hey Achrona Shel Shem Aki. Now where are we holding now? And that's it for today in this little piece right here. We have like 8 minutes, so we'll go over to the